Right guys, welcome back to another video. On this one I thought I'd share something with you. If you've got DT Swiss 11 speed road wheels with a Pawl system, that's P-A-W-L, like that, as you can see there. I'll show you a close up of it in a minute, but the three Pawl hub this is, you can get a 2 like that. I just thought I'd show you something. If you ride your bike quite often in the wet weather, or you get caught out in some rain, you know, doesn't necessarily have to be raining all the time, but if you're washing your bike a lot with water, which is probably the worst thing you can do, but if you get caught out in the rain and you've got to wash your bike and you're riding in the rain even, I'll just show you what riding in the rain or washing the bike would do to one of these hubs. So it doesn't matter if you ride it, I don't know, not even, well, 5 times in the rain, or wash the bike 5 times. I'll show you what the grease will look like in this hub system if you've been washing your bike a few times, and then you'll wonder why you got a problem with the rear wheel, etc. And I'll show you what the reason is for that. Right, so quickly, here's a rear hub. You can see it's the 3 Pawl system on it. As you can see there, these are spring loaded. Obviously they shoot out like that and then engage into the inside of the rear wheel, and then when you're freewheeling or when you're pedalling, that's what engages the drive, is these. And basically it's just little, these are replaceable, these 3, and you always say you can get a 2 Pawl one as well. This is a 3. So you replace the springs, and you can replace these pawls, as they call them. So that's serviceable, and it's got a bearing in the end there. But so regards to the grease that you use in them, you can get genuine DT Swiss grease, which is that. And I'll show you what that looks like after, well, a handful of rides, or if you've washed your bike a few times. Right, so here we have DT Swiss rear wheel, as you can see there. This is a R23 spline rear wheel, but I say most of them 11 speed road, they all use the same Freehub system. I'm not on about mountain bikes here, I'm on about road bikes. Mountain bikes, they tend to use a ratchet system on the rear, but these use the Pawl system. As you can see there, these shoot out and then engage into the teeth that's in there, as you can see the teeth, like so. But as you can see in there, I don't know if you can see it, you can see the water, just there, and there's water down inside there as well, down inside there. But that light brown colour in there is the remnants of the grease. So in other words, water dissolves that grease, so it's useless in the wet. But you have to have a certain type of grease, otherwise it won't work properly. If you use a thick grease or whatever, these aren't going to shoot out properly and engage, because they're spring loaded. So if you use the wrong type of grease in it, it won't work anyway. But I'll show you what I'm talking about on the cassette. There's a cassette there, and that grease is literally, I take this apart and service it regularly, so I know, but that grease is only literally it's probably done about five wet rides, and probably five washes, and I don't wash it and spray water directly in there. That's just water that gets in when you're riding and seeps in. So you can see the grease there. Now that grease, I'll get some on my finger, what's left of it is completely dissolved. You can see the grease there, look, it just dissolves with water. It's absolutely useless when it comes, doesn't even feel much like grease. It's not, you know, that's all that's left here, that you can just wipe it off with your finger. There's nothing left. It just turns to like mush, really. It's not even grease. So that, effectively, the water is just washing the grease out. And the same in there. So all I'll do is clean that out and then re-grease it. But unless you do that regularly, like every 10 rides, roughly, depending on the weather condition. If you're using it in bone dry conditions, the grease, you won't never have a problem with them. I take them apart on the bikes I use in the dry, and you don't have a problem. It's just I'm talking about in wet conditions. So yeah, as I was saying, guys, that's in wet conditions, you see. It just washes the grease out. And in the dry, like I say, in the dry, you could take one of those apart in the dry. If you only ride in the dry and you don't wash your bike with a hose pipe, worst thing you can do, that's what happens with the water get in and it turns the grease to that. No, it hasn't got any effect at all. So unless you keep taking it off and re-greasing and cleaning it all the time, then you'll soon have a problem with it. So, and like I say, I take that apart regular, so I know how many times it's been ridden roughly, and in the wet conditions that just don't last at all. So you have to take it apart probably every like 10 rides or something, re-grease it. Otherwise the grease, there's no effect. It doesn't have any effect at all, that grease. It's just completely dissolved. So as I say, if you've got a rear wheel, a DT Swiss one, they're fantastic wheels. I always rate them. I've got a lot of sets of them, and I always rate them wheels. And it's like anything, unless you maintain it, it's not going to last. So if you just keep on top of the maintenance on it with the grease, check the bearings, etc., they last thousands of miles, literally thousands and thousands of miles. They never go out of true. I've never had a problem with them. They never go off true or anything. But like anything, you just got to maintain it. So that's an 11-speed road wheel. I'm not talking about a ratchet system on mountain bike. I'm talking about the Pawl system. So that's what's happened to the genuine DT Swiss grease after only probably 5 wet rides, that is, and it just dissolves. So keep your eye on it if you've got those wheels and you wonder why the ratchet's probably not working properly on the rear wheel. It's faulty. All it probably is there's no grease left in it and it's just washed out, especially if you wash your bike with a hose. So keep your eye on it. Until the next video, I'll see you then.